Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Joey Sparks. That's 2E's Know Why. You heard me, 2E's Know Why. And in this video, we are going to be reacting for the very first time to Ren's Eden. If you know anything about the channel, then you know we pretty much started reacting off of Ren. So I can't wait. If you're ready for me to react to Eden by Ren, then let me know. But first, you know I got to play. Sip, cough, sip, yeah. Bang. Okay, take that down, pull that up. Before we get started, please do me a favor, like, comment on all the content, preferably as soon as it comes out. Helps the videos go higher in the algorithm and stay there for longer. I'll appreciate you. Also, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm a music videographer by trade, so that's the POV I take into all the reactions I do here on the channel. I also do reviews, unboxings, and interviews, so hit the subscribe button, make some friends in the comments, and without further ado, my friends, Eden by Ren's. I'm just boring for no reason. All right, let's go.
Let me tell you a story as old as time, the story of Adam and Eve. It starts with a God who wanted more. God had just created the heavens and the earth. He had the angels by his side, but they had no will of their own. And so the autonomy to love or reject him was never theirs. All but for one. The once called bringer of light. Lucifer, morning star. Lucifer was the fairest and most intelligent of all the angels. He was the closest thing to God's image, and in his likeliness, Lucifer felt restless. He began to question and doubt God. He doubted the hierarchy opposed upon him. He felt God was arrogant. In his frustration, Lucifer built a throne that stood even above God's and declared mutiny.
Boy.
A war in...
First of all, shout out to the animators. I don't know who did that. Let's check it out. Oh, no say, no say, no say. Yeah, shout out to the animators because putting in this old, was 8-bit, 16-bit graphics.
God, being all-powerful, came out the victor and banished Lucifer from the heavens and exiled him to earth. Once again, God was alone with his power. Perhaps from loneliness, perhaps from curiosity, perhaps from a desire to share love. God began to work on his greatest project yet, a being that would mirror himself, the human, two humans specifically, Adam and Eve.
Ganging them. Humans, ganging them. You feel me?
They were placed inside a paradise built for them on earth, the Garden of Eden. In the garden, God placed a tree that bared fruit that would grant anyone who ate it powers bestowed only to a God, to tell good from evil, left from right, to live righteously.
Hey, look at the snake, just cooling.
Or to sin. He named this the tree of knowledge. God told Adam and Eve they could eat whatever they wanted in the garden.
Except, super easy rules, man. Super easy rules. Here go free will.
But never the fruit from the tree of knowledge. And if they disobeyed him, it would be punishable by death. The basic way the story of Eden is told is that Eve was tempted by Lucifer in the form of a serpent to eat a fruit from the tree of knowledge.
Be strong. We all know she wasn't.
Convinced, she bit the fruit. She passed it to Adam, and he did the same. So
Adam could have been like, look, I specifically remember big guy said, don't do that. What you just did, that. But the snake said,
suddenly, ultimate knowledge filled their minds, and they realized they were naked and felt shame. God discovered this betrayal and felt angered. He exiled Adam and Eve and cursed them with the life of a mortal. They would work, they would bear children, and they would die. The fate of a human. Now look deeper.
In the story, the serpent tempted me by telling me I would gain ultimate knowledge and that God would spare me.
Both
I don't know for others. I can't speak for others, but for me, this was a very big reason why, like, sometimes in dating, I'd be like, nah, man, we can't. What do we? There's certain situations I can't be because there are snakes out there who are cunning, and no disrespect to the ladies I was with or my wife for that matter. I just know how slick a snake's tongue can be. Pause. Yo. A snake's tongue can be as crazy. What are we doing here? I'm moving mad. Okay, so yeah, so I was like, and still am kind of very big on like, who is this? Man, he acting, yo, chill out. I'm very almost screw up the situation, the social situation over that sort of thing. Just because I don't want none of this. Leave somebody alone to be talking to somebody's ear for too long. Woo.
But true.
This wasn't some great deception, meaning that Satan, in the likeliness of God, perhaps understood his intentions. In fact,
The only lie uttered in the
Garden of Eden was
by God, who did not end up
condemning
Adam and Eve to death.
death.
This could be seen as an act of
Mercy, but the sheer fact that the tree existed and that humans
were initially cut off from this knowledge.
may imply some part of God was afraid that if humans were granted the gift of perception, they, like Lucifer, would have the power to reject him too. The fact that there stood a beautiful tree that could
grant this knowledge in the first place
implies that a small part of
God, supposedly all-knowing,
perhaps wanted and intended
the humans to bite too.
In the Bible, Satan was an exiled angel of free will. Humans are exiled
descendants of Adam and Eve.
also with free will. Not only have we shared a similar fate to the devil, we were also both constructed in
We
the
were
image of
also
our
both
Creator,
constructed in the image of our Creator.
meaning our behaviors, in some shape or form, imperfectly echo his.
We could assume
Those are leaps and decisions. Though I have also looked at that opposing view. If you didn't want it to happen, why would you make a tree there? But we don't know per se. So hindsight's 2020. So I can sit here and speak like, oh man, simple rules, you know what I mean? But who knows?
that this kind of
God has his doubt.
I mean, if right now, if the cookies upstairs in my cabinet were God's all-knowing food of knowledge, and he said, you have everything else in this house, Joey, except these, I may not make it. That's how bad food is around me sometimes. And then you think about it, the red one on all this green, first of all, color theory. But we don't know if it's red, really, right? Do we? It's probably been depicted that way because just an apple was the easiest, right?
As the most
powerful being in the universe,
he has no one above him
to turn to with questions, and no one to
Doubt but himself, an incredibly lonely and isolating existence.
We must only assume that the common thread between God, Lucifer, and us is the desire for more, an eternal curiosity, a desire perhaps birthed from a seed of loneliness. If not, why would we exist in the first place? The constantly
Great questions. Don't know. And as one searches for answers and comes up stumped, I think at a certain point in time, you gotta kind of just like faith it, and that's why I say I'm very spiritual. My spirituality spawned from my religion. But then as I got older, I felt like religion was just a different R word for rules, per se. So I try to understand that what's in me, which could be a balance of light and dark, could very well be the similarities that they're pointing out here between Lucifer and the Almighty.
looping bittersweet irony is whether gifted by some omnipotent God or simply a byproduct of billions of years of evolution, here we stand in 2023 as creatures with free will. The only creatures that understand and define good from bad. Creatures with the potential of a god. And what do we do with that free will, my friends? We willingly walk to the edge of a cliff. In the name of progress, we jump off the precipice. The empires we build ravage the earth. The natural order of things are necessary to survive. Any systems which do not honor homeostasis eventually perish. Our free will overrides our own biology.
Yo, the editing on this is great. It's not my style of like filming and editing and stuff, and so there's like something like is attracting me to it about this.
Logical instinct. We can take more than we eat. We can kill more than we need. We can willingly create weapons with the potential to burn everything we've built to the ground. We willingly decide to bow at the altar of greed, the most insidious and destructive of all sins. We put our faith in corporations who pose as rulers. We willingly allow ourselves to be led by outdated power systems ran by corrupted politicians and bloated.
I mean, he's not lying on none of that.
claim domain and dominion over and over.
But I feel like along the way, just as knowledgeable as this excerpt is, the majority of people don't think this way and can't think this way on their own. I actually, coming back to that a take about maybe God possibly being lonely, you know what I mean? This weird ability to enjoy being alone, even with a family, wife and kids, best friends, colleagues. I really like being alone sometimes, and so I gotta assume there's some similarities there. With that being said, though, it's like when I'm alone, that's when I get to do my best thinking, and I don't think our race, the human race, everybody, I don't think the majority of them think enough, and so we've gotten duped into these systems that he was speaking about, and we're just in them, and we have the power to take it back, but for whatever reasons, myself included, we're too scared to do so, because this world could be ran this way. But absolute power corrupts absolutely. Is that the saying? So even if we were to say, like, we got a better way of being holy and nice and bringing the world up together, and then we start to take over, eventually the power will corrupt us too, and so it'll just be flipped. So it's a really weird cycle, and sometimes the end can look bleak. And that's why I don't like to look that far. As much as I like to think, I don't like to think that far. What can I control here? And maybe one day I'll have enough money where I can think that far, but I can't. I got to think a little closer to home. Kids, wife, community.
I'm free, lad. We willingly elect the corrupted when the decision was always ours to build something better. We willingly create and impose separation because of beliefs that we are force-fed through our phones and television sets. We always had the will to reject these things, but we adhere to them as though they were the laws of physics. War, famine, pestilence, greed, these aren't things imposed upon us by an all-powerful God or by his demonic adversary. They are here because of us. Not because of free will, but because of our inability to use it. We must be motivated to be better, not out of fear of punishment of an eternal damnation, but because the choice exists, because we love ourselves, because we have the power to absolve ourselves of so much unnecessary suffering. Take a second to be in this very moment.
Right here, right now.
In this moment, how much suffering is happening all over the planet right now? How many people are dying of illnesses that could have easily been cured, but aren't because of the selfishness and greediness of humanity? How many people break their backs and reject their own passions to simply afford bills and food? How many of us crave distraction from existence? How many of us numb that pain in whatever way necessary? How many children are being abused? How many people sleep cold and hungry on the streets? How many of us become cogs inside a machine that is destroying itself? How many soldiers have been forced to fight in meaningless wars? How many humans have killed for ideals they don't believe in or understand? How many people have died for the greed of another man? And how much of this was avoidable? As written in the Bible, Satan was not condemned to hell. Satan was condemned to earth. He lives there amongst other creatures with free will, who always had the choice and still chose their own undoing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our self-made hell. The bittersweet irony is this is a creation of our own design. I'll leave you with this. Consider what you have done here today. You have worked together as individuals collaborating to form a giant neural network, a hive mind capable of achieving incredible things. We have lent on each other's strengths to solve puzzles and
Is this part of the money game? I mean, I was already getting the feeling like it's part of the money game, but like, I mean, like, or like it mimicked the music video, but I'm saying like the game, the actual game, I wasn't playing it. I'm dumb as shit. So like I had to tap out of that. That wasn't my bag. They were like, Joe, you go sit over here and play with these colorful toys while us adults work on this. But I feel like when he was talking about what we've done here today, kind of sounded like that. Let me know.
decipher riddles. And we've done so to
Yeah. Okay. All right.
win money. Imagine applying that same spirit and determination to creating the closest thing we have to paradise
go ahead.
here on Earth. By using the power of collaboration, we can work together to even the playing field for everybody. Our dystopias can become utopias. Our Jahannams can become Jannah. Our hells can become heaven, right here on Earth. And this sentiment applies to atheists, agnostics, and believers alike. Myself, I'm an agnostic who believes. I believe in us. We must do better because we can choose to. We must be better simply because the option exists. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. That's exactly what it's all about, man. And Ren really leads that charge, you know what I mean? Go out and do something better today. Be better some way. Be nice some way. Do our part, right? Man, that was deep. That was cool, but I feel like I'm late. I feel like it was already out and I'm like the last one to get to it. So if you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button, like the video. Tell me in the video, what do you think about us as a humanity and maybe some of the answers, or how does greed become such a ugly thing that it is, or like not become, it's initially bad, but like how did it affect us and get us that far, and then like what are the steps that we can make to like get it back? I don't know if we can. So I just say look closely within your community and what you can affect with your means and resources. Put out good energy, because karma is going to bring that same positive energy back to you. If you put out negative energy, you better duck, because it's coming back. And then just, let's do what he was talking about. We have the power to choose to do something better. So if you see a moment or something like that, just try to be better. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.